Is there a public comment here?
All set, Manny?
Yes, John, we're live and recording.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for attending. My name is John Durgan. I'm the city's Economic Development Manager. And welcome to tonight's ARPA Small Business Grant Program Pre-Application Workshop. Tonight, we're going to go over some of the eligibility requirements for this grant program, the amount of funding that's available, some of the eligibility requirements, and the documents needed to apply, which is going to be the most important. So, Manny, next slide, please. I just want to give the public just a brief overview of the program and what the intended goal of the program is. So the City Commission recently approved $350,000 of our American Rescue Plan Act, which is also known as our ARPA, funding towards a small business grant program with the intent of providing direct financial assistance to our small businesses in the form of grants for those who have been negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. We know the pandemic started back in March of 2020. We know a lot of our small businesses are still suffering and still need that support. So we're trying to target those who have not received any sort of prior funding due to COVID, really trying to target this program towards them. Next slide, please. So the overall grant funding, this is an important table right here, because this is going to go over the exact amount of the maximum grant amount each business is eligible for. It's a tiered system, so there's 3 tiers of funding. Tier 1 is going to be your $20,000 grants. These grants, in the grant amount, the total funding amount is going to be based off your percentage decrease in your gross annual revenue year over year. And this can be any year from 2020 to 2022. So comparing consecutive years with your decrease in growth revenue. So you have to demonstrate to the city that you experienced some sort of percentage decrease in your annual gross revenues year over year. It could be 2020 compared to 2021, 2021 to compare to 2022. You have to demonstrate that percentage decrease. If you experience in any year during the pandemic a 25% or more decrease in your annual gross revenue year over year, you're eligible for a $20,000 grant. If you experience an 11 to 24% percentage decrease, you're eligible for a $15,000 grant, which is considered a tier 2 grant. And the tier 3 grant is if you experience anywhere between 1 and 10% percentage decrease in your annual gross revenue. So it's a tiered system, again, based on your annual gross revenue, a decrease year over year. And that could be any year during the pandemic, 2020, 21, or 22. And you can also compare 2019 to 2020. Next slide, please. The eligibility requirements. This is the list of the eligibility requirements for the small business grant. So you must be a for-profit business that has been in operation from March 1st, prior to March 1st, 2020. So you can't be a new business that started after the pandemic started. You have to have been in operations prior to March 1st of 2020. And nonprofit organizations are not eligible under this program. This is for-profit businesses only. Your business must be located within the city limits of the city of Boynton Beach, and this includes the CRA. So this program is open to both businesses throughout the city in the CRA district as well as outside the CRA district. You must have between 1 and 25 employees, an annual gross revenue of $5 million or less. So we're trying to target those small businesses here in the city. And again, like I mentioned, your business must have experienced a decrease in gross revenue year over year, or you can compare similar quarters as well. But you have to be able to demonstrate that loss with documentation. And I'll get into that a little later in the presentation. But again, your grant amount is going to be calculated based off of a percentage decrease in your gross revenue. And this is going to be a big eligibility requirement. Your business has not received any sort of previous COVID-19 assistance, either from the city. We did have a small business grant program when COVID started. The Boynton Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, the Boynton Beach CRA, they issued a wonderful grant program to help those in their district. And Palm Beach County had their Restart Business Grant Program. So if you received any sort of prior funding from any one of those 3 entities, any one of their programs, if you receive funding from them due to COVID-19, due to the pandemic, you are not eligible for this program. We are trying to target small businesses who have not received any sort of prior funding, either from the city, CRA, or Palm Beach County. businesses must be properly licensed by all necessary levels of government and agencies. And that it does include your Boynton Beach business tax receipt, your BTR, which we will get into as well. And the applicant must be able to demonstrate at a minimum they've lost the monetary amount of the maximum grant amount they are applying for. So for example, if you qualify for a tier 1 grant, you have to demonstrate that you've at least lost $20,000 in gross revenue. Just have to hit that max grant that you qualify for. Next slide, please. So the eligible uses, these are directly from the federal government, what you can use the funds for. But again, revenue loss mitigation, this is supporting your payroll, benefit costs, your mortgage, rent, utility costs, any sort of operating costs as a business. You can use it to help mitigate and prevent COVID-19 spread. This was more prevalent during the beginning of the pandemic, but any sort of social distancing, cleaning efforts, vaccine testing, anything like that you want to use it as a business, you can use the funds for this as well, or you can use it for business planning, obtaining technical assistance, consulting services to help you plan your finances and help you plan your business due to the impacts of the pandemic. But I believe the majority of our businesses will use this for their operating costs. That's going to be the revenue loss mitigation. Next slide, please. All right, this is a very important slide. These are the required documents. In previous programs that we've administered, this has been one of the biggest challenges for our small business owners is coming up with the documents needed to apply. The required documents, the list of the required documents here on the screen will have to be submitted with your application. Applications will not be considered complete unless all the required documents are submitted with your completed application. The first one, your W-9 form. Everybody should have this as a taxpayer for the federal government, for the IRS. So you do need to submit your W-9 form, a copy of your current City of Boynton Beach business tax receipt. I'll show you exactly what that looks like, but it has to be your current and active City of Boynton Beach BTR. At the top, it'll say it expires September 30th of 2023. I'll show you what it looks like, but you will need to have that. That's your local license to operate a business here in the city. Any professional or business that operates in the City of Boynton Beach must have a BTR. A copy of your active State of Florida Division of Corporations record as shown on SunViz. I'll show you exactly what this is and what it looks like, but this just shows that you are registered with the State of Florida and that you are an active business with the State of Florida Division of Corporations. A completed certifications and affirmations form. This is going to be included on your application. It's a blank template I will include on the application, so there's nothing you need to submit. It'll be a part of your applications and you will need to sign it. And finally, the last required document is going to be 2 years of business tax returns. We will be asking for the tax returns for the 2 years that you are showing your percentage decrease in your gross annual revenue. This has to include your Schedule Cs, depending on your business structure, your forms 1120, 1120S for corporations, and then your returns of partnership income if you are a partnership. So depending on if you're a sole proprietor, corporation, LLC, your business tax returns, because that's how we're going to demonstrate your gross, your percentage decrease in your gross annual revenue. And then you can also submit, they're not required, but you can also submit any sort of profit and loss statements or other financial documents that may help justify your application and support your application. But again, your BTR, your active State of Florida Division of Corporations record, and your business tax receipts, those are going to be huge because that's how we're going to calculate your percentage decrease in your gross revenue. Next slide, please. So this is just an example of what your BTR looks like. Every business should have one of these if they operate within the city limits of Boynton Beach. This is what your business tax receipt looks like. If you do have any questions or you need to get a BTR, you can contact myself and I'll have my contact information at the end of the presentation, or you can call anybody at the city and they'll point you in the right direction. But every business must have an active and current BTR to qualify for this program. Next slide, please. So this is the page on the right side of the slide is what the active State of Florida Division of Corporations record looks like. This is just, again, shows that you are registered with the State of Florida and you are an active business with the Division of Corporations. And if you don't know how to obtain this document, you can go to sunbiz.org. That's the Division of Corporations website. On their homepage, you can go to the Search Records tab. It's right there on the homepage on the left side. If you click that, the drop-down options will appear. You just select those and you click one, and you can search your business through any one of those options. Once you search your business and you find it, the document on the right-hand side will pop up, and it'll show a status of active. So that's where you find that document, and we do need that as a required document for the application. Next slide, please. So your business tax returns, again, like I said, this is how we're going to demonstrate your percentage decrease in gross revenue. And depending on what type of business structure you are, you have to send 2 years of those business tax returns, the ones that you are applying for that percentage decrease in gross revenue. And on here, I highlighted the section where we're actually going to find that percentage decrease. It's usually right there under income, under line 1, gross receipts and sales. That's going to be your gross revenue for the year. We're going to take those 2 consecutive years and compare them for your percentage decrease in gross revenue. So your tax returns are a required document, and it's very important that you do submit those. And again, those could look different depending on what your business structure is. Next slide, please. Where and when can I apply for this program? So the application will be on the city's website under the link here, and that's going to be www.boynton-beach.org/ARPA. This is going to be the homepage for the entire program. It'll give you a list of FAQs, frequently asked questions. It'll have a recording of this presentation here tonight. It'll give you a general overview of the program, and it will also host the application portal where you can apply. So if you're looking for the application portal, it'll be on that web page. The city anticipates to launch this program this Wednesday, February 1st, which is in a couple of days here. So please get those documents prepared. And if you're virtual here tonight, the next slide is going to have my contact information. Shoot me an email so I can include your email. We have a list of business contacts, and an email blast will go out with the application portal in the web page. So if you have your email address, please send that to me. I can include you on there if you're not already. So you will get that application portal sent to you, and we're also going to have it on all of our social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. We'll have a link to access that application portal. And of course, you can always contact me if you have trouble finding it. So again, we anticipate launching this program this Wednesday, February 1st. We don't have a set time yet, but please be on the lookout for that. And next slide, please. There's my contact information. If you want to call me, email me, always here for questions about the program. But again, this Wednesday, we're expecting to launch it. And at this time, I'll take any questions we have in person first, and then we'll go on virtually to answer any questions anybody may have. Any questions from anybody? Here's some mic for the recording.
So it's pretty much when you go on the website, right? That's where we applying, and all those documents can be attached there, right?
Correct. So when you open up the application is a fillable form online, and it'll give you a section where you can upload documents. So all your documents can be uploaded with your application all virtually. If somebody does need a hard copy, we can send them a hard copy of the application. But mostly everybody can apply online, and you can upload your documents right there in the application.
Okay, and then I was thinking about the license where you required to have, so we just can make a copy, or it has to be printed out from you?
No, you can make a copy of your current BTR and just send me that you have that active and current BTR.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
And how much time we have from February 1st to apply?
Great question. So we're going to keep the application portal open up for about 2 months, depending on how many applications we do get. We would love to get all the money out in this first round of funding. So we're going to probably have that up there for 2 months to let people apply, and then we'll see how much funding we do have left. Any other questions in person? Manny, we will go to the virtual questions. Anybody has a question virtually?
If anybody would like to ask a question online, please click to raise your digital hand to let me know. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Our first question is from Kinita. Kinita, you've been unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hi, I have an online business and I wanted to know, does a business have to have a brick and mortar location to meet the requirements?
Is your business registered with the city of Boynton Beach? Are you domiciled in the city of Boynton Beach?
Yes.
Then yes, you would qualify.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And just to clarify as well, your business must have between 1 and 25 employees. So your business must have employees to qualify.
Okay, our next speaker is Michael McClendon. Michael, you're unmuted, but you're self-muted. Please click the microphone next to your name. Thank you.
Hi, I came in rather late. Can you tell me what years are we talking about, 2020 to 2022, when it comes to the revenue you're looking for?
Yes. So again, the grant, the total grant amount you're eligible for is based off of a percentage decrease in your gross revenue. So you have to demonstrate you lost any sort of revenue. And when we say during the pandemic, we mean any years between 2020 and 2022. So you can show us a percentage decrease in your revenue. They have to be 2 consecutive years. So for example, you can compare 2019 to 2020. You can compare 2020 to 2021 or 2021 to 2022. So any one of those years, we do qualify as the pandemic. So if you can just demonstrate a percentage decrease in your gross revenue year over year for any one of those years, you would qualify.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, those are the only 2 hands we have raised. Does anybody else would like to ask a question online? Please click to raise your digital hand. We'll click on you. Okay, John, those are the only 2 hands we have raised.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Manny. Well, again, my contact information is on the screen. Please call me, shoot me an email if you have any questions anytime now to when the grant application opens up. Again, we're really trying to support those small businesses who have not received any sort of funding prior to this point and who really experienced that there's some sort of loss in their gross revenue. So again, thank you guys all for attending tonight. I'm always here for questions, and feel free again to call me, shoot me an email. But we are expecting to open this application up this Wednesday. So if you know of any other businesses who couldn't attend tonight, please let them know. We'll have a recording of this posted tomorrow. So please spread the word. We're really trying to support. Our commission has really made it a priority to help those who have not been helped before, and to help those true small businesses here in the city. So again, thank you guys all for attending tonight. I really appreciate it. Have a great night. Thank you.